Naming variables, what to avoid and what to consider. We're looking at a function from the JavaScript Canvas library called transform. It takes some parameters A, B, C, D, E, and F, and you can see the usage below. Quick question, what does this function do? Why is it bad? Well, we should value working memory over keystrokes. We can have 7 plus or minus 2 items in our working memory, and we should prioritize using that working memory for our own goals and not for the implementation details of the functions that we use. And A, B, C, D, E, and F don't really say anything about the function or the parameters themselves, so we want to make sure that we can make the order and the names clearer. How could it be better? Well, we could make some clear names. So by making the names according to their purpose for the parameters, we can ensure that the implementation of the function itself can have the parameters written clearly. However, you can see by the usage, this doesn't help usage yet. We can add an object argument. Object arguments allow us to define the parameters at the invocation site, which both gives us the names as we're invoking the function and allows us to order the parameters in a way that makes us avoid common confusion with the way that the authors might have ordered those function parameters. We can add default values. So one really nice thing that might not be commonly understood about what default values can do is they can make the intention of calling the function clearer. So since all of the other parameters except for the skewing parameters were the default values, we can now see the intention of the original function call was to skew the context. Another thing to consider is that 4 of the parameters are defaulting to 1 and 2 are defaulting to 0. Define the noun. If we define the noun, we can see that the first 4 parameters are actually multipliers, and the last 2 parameters are translation in terms of distance in coordinate space. So it's much clearer now with defaults and nouns to understand what those parameters are and how they might differ from each other. Single responsibility. In addition to having that single transform function, which does 3 things, we can have 3 functions that do 1 thing. And in the usage, we can now see directly from the function name the intended purpose of calling what was originally the transform function, which is to skew the context by this horizontal multiplier and this vertical multiplier. Thanks. I hope this helps you define your variable names better in the future. Let me know if you have any thoughts or comments. Thanks again.